Hopefully this shit work, y'all. I couldn't do this at first because my goddamn camera won't connect. It's just using a webcam when I got an external webcam. So if this shit don't work, y'all, goddamn it, I don't know what else to do. It must not be the day for us to be reading this shit, and I'm not gonna be able to show the book on this one. I'm not gonna be able to show the book on this one. I'm gonna just have to read. So forgive me, y'all, if that's the case. But I'm trying, nigga. Nigga. So let us do it. Let's see if it even playing on YouTube. Fingers crossed. Thanks for coming back. All right, most definitely, cool. Most definitely, it's probably pissing other people off. Like, fuck that, man. He need to get his Wi-Fi shit together. I'm so like on the third fucking floor. The Wi-Fi box all the way at the bottom. Sometimes that shit just want to go in and out. All right, so I'm gonna just have to read straight from the book, y'all. Sorry, y'all gonna have to look at my face. Um, so we talking about the personal God and how monotheism brings us to a difficulty, right? He says, this, as we have seen, leads us into two difficulties. It is not a sufficient generalization, and secondly, it is not an explanation of nature from within itself. It holds that the effect is not the cause. The cause is entirely separate from the effect. Yet all human knowledge shows that the effect is but the cause in another form. It says, yet all human knowledge entirely, hold up. Yet all human knowledge shows that the effect is but the cause in another form. To this idea, the discoveries of modern science are trending or tending every day. And the latest theory, which has been accepted on all sides, is the theory of evolution. This is 1890s. See what I'm saying? So evolution theory has just been accepted and it's new then, right? The principle of which is that the effect is but the cause in another form, right? Yo, Rose of Fame, peace, 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 peace. My dog, comment P pushing motherfucker. The principle of which is that the effect is but the cause in another form. The cause is the effect, and the effect is the cause. A readjustment of the cause, in that the cause takes the form of the effect. The theory of creation out of nothing would be laughed at by modern scientists. Now, can religion stand these tests? If there be any religious theories which can stand these two tests, they will be acceptable to the modern mind, to the thinking mind. Which I told you, the thinking mind. We already know about the thinking mind. The thinking mind may be fucked, maybe what's holding a lot of people back from being able to accept that all is one and one is all. Because we're too logical. We're too fucking logical. He said, must be the cancer connection, fam. I was at the Illuminati meeting and thought there's some Vedanta in the air. You goddamn right. Some Vedanta ended up showing up in the air, bro. And you was right, goddamn Oracle. Hey, bro, that's why I love y'all, bro. We can come over here and have some fun and talk some shit and learn some non-dual Vedantic shit, some cosmic peace shit. It is. All right, all right, all right. We got all the coops in the building. We got all the coops in the building. What's happening? All right. So, in any hold up, any other theory which we ask the modern man to believe on the authority of priests or churches or books, he is unable to accept, and the result is a hideous mass of unbelief. Hmm. Even those in even those in whom there is an external display of belief have in their hearts a tremendous amount of unbelief. The rest of the people shrink away from religion. They give it up, regarding it as priestcraft only. Religion in modern times has been reduced to a sort of national affair. So motherfuckers talking about the old times. This is 1896. Same shit is happening in 2025. Human beings have been complaining about the same. Man, come on, man. The same shit. It is one of our very best social remnants. So let it remain. But the real need which our grandfathers felt for is gone. We no longer find it satisfactory to our reason. The idea of such a personal God and such a creation, the idea generally known as monotheism in every religion, cannot hold on its own any longer. In India, it could not hold its own because of the Buddhists. And that was the very point where they gained their victory in ancient times. So that new shit popped up outside of that Hindu shit, that Buddha shit. I'm like, nigga, I don't know, but this Buddha shit sound right. That other shit y'all talking about don't sound right. This Buddha shit sound right. Right? They show that if we admit that nature is possessed of infinite power and that nature can work out all its wants, it is simply unnecessary to insist that there is something besides nature. Even the soul is unnecessary. That's the Buddhists. That's what the Buddhists say. The discussion about substance and quality, the discussion about substance and qualities is very old. You will sometimes find that the old superstition lives even at the present day. Knowledge is a trap. Knowledge is a trap. Knowledge is a trap. Now, back in the day, I would have disagreed with you, but now I can't say that I don't disagree with you. Because we go through to know anything, you need the five senses, and the five senses is made up of the what? The five elements, and the mind is made up of the what? The five elements, and you are beyond the five elements. Okay. The discussion about the substance and qualities is very old, and you will sometimes find that the old superstition lives even at the present day. Most of you have read how during the Middle Ages, and I am sorry to say, even much later, this was one of the subjects of discussion, whether qualities inhere in substance, whether length, breadth, and thickness, and breadth, or like I guess length and width is what he's saying, and thickness in here in the substance which we call dead matter, or whether the substance can exist, whether the qualities are there or not. To this, our Buddha says, you have no ground for maintaining the existence of such a substance. The qualities are all that exist. You do not see beyond them. This is just the position of most of our modern agnostics or modern atheists. For it is a fight about substance and qualities that, on a higher plane, takes the form of the fight about nomenon and phenomenon. There is a phenomenal world, the universe of continuous change. Listen, there is. Hold on, where did I start at? There is the phenomenal world, the universe of continuous change, and there is something behind which does not change. What, if anybody's been paying attention, what are we saying that is the one thing that does not change? I'm not going to continue reading to somebody in the chat. I'm going to have to start doing it. To somebody in the chat tells me what's that beyond the universe and the phenomenal world that does not change. I'm waiting. I know somebody said. Somebody gonna say it. I ain't reading till I continue to get till I get some. What is that beyond the changing universe? Okay, cool TGS. God damn it. Somebody gonna say it. That's where your identity should lie. Consciousness. In that regard, Rose of Flame, I would disagree because I guess I can't disagree. I guess it depends on which way that you're looking for. So yes, right, God. But in the aspect of what we typically know God as the generation, operator, and destroyer, consciousness would be beyond that. But at the same time, awareness. Okay, Navidarasi. And I know Rose of Flames, but I'm speaking because we do have new people in here. Navidarasi, appreciate you for coming through. Awareness. That's what we're talking about here. That's what we're talking about here. Right? Sunshine Chick, peace, peace, peace. What's happening? What's happening? Well, yeah, Rosa Flame, I know you know. I'm just saying, just in general. Because even when we talk about the concept of God, that's an illusionary aspect. But what we know as God as being omnipotent, um, all the things, the great things, what we know about God, technically would be consciousness. So, for y'all just joining, unfortunately, the cameras are tripping and the Wi-Fi has been tripping, so I can't put the camera on the book. So ultimately, I have to read it to y'all, and y'all gotta trust that I'm actually reading the real words of the book, and I'm not reading you my handy dandy notebook. So he said there's a phenomenal world, the universe of continuous change, and there is something behind which does not change. In this duality of existence, nomenon and phenomenon, some hold to be real, while others, with better reason, claim that you have no right to admit the two, for that we see, feel, and think of is only the phenomena or the phenomenal world. Some people only believe it's nothing but the phenomenal world. You have no right, they say, to assert that there is anything beyond the phenomena. And apparently there has been no answer to this. But the monotheist, the monistic school of Vedanta has given the answer. You see why I like Vedanta? They have given the answer. They've given the answer. And I think that was cool. TGS asked me when did I run into Advaita. Um mm, Specifically Advaita, and I say specifically because all of this Western occult shit be hinting like they didn't tap into the shit, but they don't give it its credit. I say it's been about 6 months now. I say it's only been 6 months, bro. I think I've had some books. Oh no, I didn't. I had a lot of tantric and yogic books, that I got, that I was referred to by Travis Majors. So I didn't have any Advaitin books, but I had something that was close to it, which is kind of a tantric or a yogic, which would be Dharana Darshan. Dharana Darshan. And that fucking book is a fucking phenomenal. So within that book is my first time hearing of Advaita, because is it Dharana Darshan? Oh, Samkhya, my bad. Samkhya Darshan, my bad. So Samkhya Darshan meant they match when they ran into the Advaitins. It ran into the Advaitins. Now, see, no, here's the thing though, Coop. Here's the thing though, Coop. Remember, I explained y'all that I had a certain experience, which I'm not gonna go into detail again because you've heard it. I know for a fact, Coop, and everybody that I see in the chat has heard it already. So I no need to go into deep detail. But I've had that experience, right? So after I had that experience, that catapulted me to a whole new level. I had that death of the smaller self, aka the ego, of me being so called. I've been in a cult for 13 years. I've been in a cult for 13 years. Yeah, boom. Now you don't know shit. And a whole new level of understanding happening after I had that fucking terrifying experience, but nonetheless fucking fantastic and beautiful. Right? And come to find out, I had a non-dual observatory experience, not out of intention. I didn't intend to have this scary ass shit. But once I had it, a train of events started to happen, and it led me, boom, into all of this shit. Ultimately, led me to Travis Major's page. Ultimately, I got these tantric and yogic books, and ultimately that, like, oh, I guess it's thundering outside. And then ultimately, you know what I'm saying, that led me into we read the cosmic doctrine, and come to find out I had already had like prior knowledge of the cosmic doctrine on a whole different level that I can't even fucking explain, that led me to something. I just understood the fucking cosmic doctrine. Even though it was real wordy, I just fucking understood it and had already had a breakthrough before I even heard of the book, before I even read a Dion Fortune book. And then I got a better understanding of the tree of life. And the tree of life just unlocked the finishing touches that I needed for your common spirituality. And I started doing my research. I think I was going to do another book. So, we had been reading Kenneth Grant, Night Side of Eden, and all this and this and this and that. And I'm putting two and two together. And then what's the book on Trav Reed? And now the paths of the tree of life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm having in the tree of life and getting in and all of that shit. And then I forgot what sparked it, bro. Then I seen something. I think probably I went to Half Price Books and grabbed one of the Bhagavad Gita, one of the Upanishads or something, and I got to read, and I'm like, hold up. Because you can go back 5-6 months in my videos and you'll hear me start. I'm not knowing that's where I'm going, but you'll start to see me hinting, blah, blah. You'll see me to start hinting towards it's all one. It's all one. It's all one. It's all one. Yeah, there's different spheres on the tree of life, but that's an illusion. It's all one. So I'm hinting at it, not intentionally, but I'm hinting at it. But ultimately, I'm not knowing there's a study or a spiritual system or a specific thought that's dedicated to nothing but oneness. And I believe Stoicism is something like that too. But if I'm one of them Greek philosophers, it's something like that too. But I'm hinting at it because I got this understanding. Like I'm don't get me wrong, I'm understanding the Sephra of the tree, but something is sticking to me real heavy about Ain Sof, Ain Sof, Ain Sof, and Ain Sofar. Like that shit was just sticking with me, bro. It's like, yeah, they saying that the tree exists obviously as a conceptual map, right? Just as a map, not as a physical tree. We know that. But it's saying ultimately what it is a tree turned inside out. So the inside of the tree is turned inside out. So ultimately it's nothing but Ain Sof and Ain Sofar. But somehow a system has been made out of that, and then Dion Fortune goes through, because that, for certain people, this is why we read, this is why we study together, but or why we can, because we all have different minds, different mental temperaments, right? Certain things stick out to me more than they may stick out to you. Certain things may stick out to you and be your breakthrough for your transformation, when it, to me, I just, what I'm saying, it wasn't that profound, or maybe I just didn't look deep enough into what I read. But that chapter 5, that's when Trav really started fucking with me, because he ended up saying something from the Cosmic Doctrine book we was reading. He said, yeah, for those, y'all just go back and check out chapter 5, where she talks about negative existence. And I actually, it was not my first video, but in the early stages of me even starting a YouTube, probably had like 50 subscribers. I did a live read. Well, I don't even think I had 50 subscribers because I couldn't go live yet. I did a reading of it, PDF file form on what's the name, and that was my first time reading. I had never read the Mystical Kabbalah before, and after I read that chapter, negative existence stuck to me down the line. And now I'm reading other shit. I'm like, hold up, y'all. What? Why ain't no occultists picked up on this? The same shit that occultists It's called a negative existence or chaos. Over here in this Indian shit, they calling it consciousness. Why have these two not been connected yet? Why have consciousness and chaos not been connected yet? They're given the same descriptions. The human mind can't conceive of it. You can't reach it with the ego. Everything comes out of it, but everything is inside of it. And I just start going through everything that I know from Bobby Hemmett, Brother Panic, Fia Valentine, every goddamn body, shit, Trav, shit that you know what I'm saying, and going through all my books. Well, y'all seen a Dark Veil Lifted video. I already told y'all what everything I did. So that took a little while to make sure, because I got to double check. Maybe I'm tripping. You see what I'm saying? Maybe I'm tripping. Let me get all this information. Let me gather all this information. Let me read. Let me do some YouTube searches. Make sure have I seen anybody say anything about it. But always in the spiritual community, we talking about consciousness, like raise your consciousness, and we're not talking about consciousness in the non-dual sense. So, long story made long. That's what ended up, because that's still made short, because that's still not the whole thing, but that's what it was. So let's see. I've always felt intuitively that all is one. Ever since I got into the occult, duality always seemed like a psychological game to me. And it's nothing more than that, Coop. It's nothing more than that. It's this game. That's what this reality is, this game. Relatively speaking, yes, duality is all the way true. Ultimately speaking, duality is the illusion. The mind is the illusion. The mind itself is the illusion. I can't say the first name, but I will say Athena. Athena says, when the entire planet starts waking up, people start questioning the truths we have been told. Good job for investigating. Facts. Appreciate it. But that's what this spiritual shit is. That's what this spiritual shit is about, right? Discerning. You have to discern. So even after my 13 years into the occult, I can still hit it. I can either sit with my ego and feel like I know, or go through that path that says I don't know shit, and then boom, ultimately start learning a whole bunch of more shit that still leads me to knowing that I don't know shit, but I am here to know the self. Let's continue, y'all. So, but the monistic school of Vedanta has given the answer. According to it, one thing alone exists, and that one thing is either phenomenon or noumenon. It is not true that there are two. Here we go. He's finna start talking to shit. It's not true that there are two. Something changing is there's okay. It is not true that there are two. Something changing and in through that something which does not change, but it is one and the same thing which appears as changing and is in reality unchangeable. Do you hear that? We got to read that again. It is not true that there are two. Something changing and in and through that something which does not change, but it is one and the same thing which appears as changing and is in reality unchangeable. That's a word salad there. We have come to think of the body and the mind and the soul as separate. But really, there is only one. And that one appears through these various forms. Take the well known illustration of the monist, the rope appearing as the snake. Some people in the dark or for some other reason mistake the rope for the snake. This is a very common analogy that non dualists use, mistaking the rope for the snake. under a very low light, you see the rope and think it's a snake. And when the light turns on, you come to find out that it's actually not a snake, it's a rope. Does that did the snake get killed? Did the snake die? No, the whole time it was both at the same time. But just under ignorance, you thought it was a snake. In reality, it's a rope. Both realities are real. Neither one are false. You just are looking at it from an ignorant standpoint. The snake and the rope exist simultaneously. Doesn't have to be two. But when knowledge comes, the snake vanishes, and it is found to be the rope. By this illustration, we see that when the snake exists in the mind, when these gods, when these rituals, when these steps, all these steps you have to take to become the most advanced occultist exist in the mind, the rope has vanished. Right? And when the rope exists, the snake has gone. When we see the phenomenon and the phenomenon only around us, the phenomenon has vanished. But when we see the phenomenon, the unchangeable, it naturally follows that the phenomenon has vanished. Now we understand better the position of both the realist and the idealist. The realist sees this phenomena only, and the idealist sees the phenomenon only. For the idealist, the really genuine idealist who has truly acquired that power of perception, whereby he can get away from all ideas of change. From him, the changeful universe has vanished, and he has the right to say that it is all delusion and there is no change. The realist at the same time looks at the changeful phenomena. For him, the unchangeable has vanished, and he has the right to say that the phenomena alone is real. Do you see how I keep telling you everybody's fucking right? Jesus is real. Allah is real. Muhammad did exist. Moses did exist. One is seeing a snake and one is seeing a rope. Simultaneously. Fucking-taneously. One is seeing a snake and one is seeing a rope. Perspective. We have to advance our ability to understand different. This is from Athena. Perspective. We have to advance our ability to understand different perspectives and how two opposing point of view can both have validation. And that right there is what I'm talking about when I say the only spiritual practice you need is observing. Zoom out. Zoom out of your own personal perspectives, your own personal ideas, your own personal whatever. Zoom the fuck out. Zoom the fuck. Let me tell you something, man. Especially growing up black in the hood, we all got it in our family. We all got, and I'm finna touch on a real touchy subject, but I'm finna tell you when we talk about sexuality, because this is a common thing, right? Now, I may disagree with it, just like I may disagree with a fish sandwich, because I don't eat fish sandwich. That doesn't mean I don't want other people to eat fish sandwiches, and that doesn't mean I want to ban fish sandwiches, and that don't mean I want people who to eat fucking fish sandwiches to go live and die in hell. But we grew up like that with people who were homosexual. We grew up thinking like that, and it was ingrained into us. As I grew older and got into this spirituality shit, I was able to zoom out and look at it from a different perspective. And when you be able to zoom out and look from it from a different perspective, I can see how we may have this perspective that may be very judgy and very much so put down to somebody who has a different sexual preference. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's all it is. It's a fucking sexual preference. Just like it's a fucking different preference in foods that you eat. But people will take upon their identity to hate other people who choose a different sexual preference. It's like that's the most pettiest shit. So when you're able to zoom out and see other people's perspective, they fucking human beings just like you. They got the right to do whatever the fuck they want to do. They got the right to do whatever the fuck they want to do. You have to zoom out from your own personal perspective of how you want things to be. Because when you living like that and setting all this judgment upon people, you are creating so much turmoil in your mind, so much shit that you have to fight against, so much fear. And I don't, and that's another thing. I don't think people actually have what they call it when they say straight people are actually scared of homosexuals. Um, um whatever it's called, what they say you actually scared of them. I just think people lack understanding. I think people lack higher perspectives, being able to see someone else's perspective outside of their perspective. Because you can see the same thing in whatever. People view on Donald Trump, people do view on Elon Musk, people view on the Tesla Cybertruck, people view on vapes, people view on people who eat meats. And like meat and they vegetarian. It's like the same shit. So I don't think nobody's fucking fearful of Cybertrucks, and people are fucking fearful of fish sandwiches, and people are fucking fearful of vapes, or people are fearful of people who eat meat. It's just that people are so caught, latched onto this identity. They lack to be able to see other people's perspective. They are very fucking selfish. They are very fucking selfish. I just had to put that out there. Had to put that out there. Zoom out. Most people get trapped to zoomed in and are unable to zoom out and see the bigger picture. Fact. It doesn't matter. But humanity has been taught to hate others for being different. Facts. Kuti just said facts. Quantum Psychology by Robert. Damn, and Rosa Flame told me to get that Quantum Psychology by Robert Anton Wilson. Help me correct my blind spots in the same way. Facts. Coop. Oh, Coopananda said hit the like button, y'all. Wipe your damn feet off when you come in. Facts. Wipe your motherfucking feet off when you come in. And I'm gonna get it, Rosa Flame. I swear to God, I'm gonna get it. It's on my list, bro. We use religion. Athena says we use religion, politics, our own ego to allow us to feel good about our judgment of others. Most people live in dark energies and are obvious their own darkness that disguises light. Facts. Hey, Athena, I like the way you talk. Hopefully, you have subscribed to this channel. We like your energy over here. We like your energy over here. Hopefully, you subscribe and you can come through. All right. So we can see how the realist can see that the changing reality is the only reality, and also how the non-dualist can see how it's all one. Right? What is the outcome of this discussion? It is that the idea of a personal God is not sufficient. We have to get to something higher, to the idea of the impersonal God. See, when we saying personal God, that's when we get to saying my God. Well, my God, that ain't my God doing that. I don't know what God you worship. That ain't my God. Very selfish talks. Very selfish talk. Very selfish talks. We have to get to something higher, the idea of an impersonal God. It is the only logical step that we can take. Not that the idea of the personal God will be destroyed by that, not that we have proved that the personal God does not exist, but we must go to the impersonal for the explanation of the personal God. For the impersonal is a much higher generalization. Only the impersonal can be infinite. The personal is limited. Listen, the personal is limited. Thus, we preserve the personal God and do not destroy him. Often the doubt comes to us that if we hold to the idea of the impersonal God, the impersonal God may be destroyed. Why do you think Ganesh is still behind me? And I'm talking about non-dualism. It's another story. Let's see. The personal God may be destroyed if we hold the idea of the impersonal. If we hold the idea of the impersonal man, the personal man may be lost. That's why people are scared of non-dualism. We talking about the self and not the mind, and we're not the mind, and we're not this and this. We're nothing but pure awareness. How do I be nothing but pure awareness? I don't know nothing but how to be a product of my fucking mind. Let's get to it. But the Vedantic idea is not the destruction of the individual, but it's the vindication, nigga. Vindication. Come over here and get vindicated. We cannot prove the existence of the individual except by referring to the universal, by proving that the individual is really the universal. If we think of the individual as separate from everything, if we think of the individual as separate from everything else in the universe, it cannot stand a minute. Such a thing never existed. Secondly, the application of the other principle, that the explanation of everything must come out of the nature of the thing. We are led to a still bolder idea and one more difficult to understand. It is nothing less than this: the impersonal being, our highest generalization, is in ourselves, and we are that. Oh, Sway 2K2, thou art that. You are that impersonal being, that God for whom you searched all over the universe has been all the time you yourself. Yourself, not in the personal sense, but the impersonal sense. So not that, nigga, I'm God, I'm God, I'm God. God body. Yeah, nigga, I'm the God body. I'm getting my God body together. That's a very personal way. That's a very egotistical way. When I say ego, I mean your personal identification system. This personal identification system. You'll see them niggas who do that all day are very stressed out and angry. Why? If they God. Tell me that. I don't want to be the guy running around here mad at white folks and humanity all day. What type of God is that? If God created everything, why are you mad? Why are you mad at your own creation? Fool, you just like the God in the Bible that you left from in Christianity. Wouldn't that make sense? Okay. So which lets you know they have a very personal, see, that's why we say we motherfuckers still bring that tradition from Christianity over into the occult. Still got the same mind. Niggas have not washed away their sins. You have not washed away your ignorance. Ignorance is the sin. You have not washed away your ignorance. You have brought that shit into the occult and have not advanced because you don't want to advance. Nobody else's fault. The man we now know, the manifested, is personalized, but the reality in him is the impersonal. To understand the personal, we have to refer it to the impersonal. The particular must be referred to the general, and that impersonal is the true self of man. There will be various questions in connection with this, and I shall try to answer them as we go on. Many difficulties arise, but first let us clearly understand the position of monoism. As manifested beings, we appear to be separate, but our reality is one. What separates us? What is that separates us? What is that within us that separates things? It's the ego. The ego is driving the car is the mind. The ego is the one that separates and makes boxes. It's the personal identification system. That is that. I am this. That's the veil. Right. So the mind and the ego is the veil. The mind, the buddhi, The intellect, the higher intellect, the mind, the whole antakarana. God damn it. For those that do know what the antakarana is, that's the mind tool. That's the memory, that's the intellect, and that's the ego. Forgetting is the veil. And what makes us forget? The ego. The ego makes us forget because it starts to separate shit. So we forget that it's all whole in one. The ego starts to separate shit. This is that, that is it, this is that. But guess what though, y'all? That's the only way manifest reality can fucking happen. That's the only way you can come down here and and have a baby, have sex. That's the only way you can come down here and have fucking banana pudding. That's the only way, man. So there's no reason to be mad at it, is what I'm trying to tell motherfuckers. No reason to be mad. Facts. The veil of yourself. The old Satan. All right. Now, facts. Facts. Our fear, which is a part of the ego in a way, it becomes part of our ego. And it is. That's where the fear comes from. Because that does not want to be eliminated. It doesn't know what it's like to be back in the oneness, back in pure awareness. It does not want that. That's why we can't conceive of us as being the cosmic P, pure unconditioned consciousness. That's why we can't conceive of it. The ego doesn't want that. But we have a method for that. Have we not given the method? Daily practice. That's your spiritual daily. Well, at least it's mine. I've done rituals, enough rituals and ceremonial type rituals and whatever the fuck type rituals, and and it comes to this factor here, this non-dualism. And it's brought me here. It may not bring everybody else here, and that does not mean that everybody else is wrong. I just see this to be the ultimate. I don't think it's shit left in spirituality after you get the understanding that you are pure awareness. Now it's time to be that. There's nothing else to know. You don't get to know pure awareness. You just be it. You don't get to understand it. This is the best that we get in these books. That these self-realized people have what's the name. This is the best that you're gonna get. And even then, goddamn it. Shit. But let's continue. Where are we? Okay. Okay. Okay, hold up. Okay, here we go. As manifested beings, we appear to be separate, but our reality is one. And the less we think of ourselves as separate from that one, the better for us. And I can attest to that. How my life has turned out, how my inner world has turned out. The more we think of ourselves as separate from the whole, the more miserable we become. From the monistic principle, we get at the basis of ethics. From this monistic principle, we get at the basis of ethics. And I venture to say that we cannot get any ethics from anywhere else. We know that the oldest idea of ethics was that it was based on the will of some particular being or beings. But few are ready to accept it now because it would be only a partial generalization. The Hindus say we must not do this and must do that because the Vedas say so. But the Christian is going to obey the authority of. Hold up. But the Christian is not going to obey the authority of the Vedas. The Christian says you must do this and not do that because the Bible says so. That will not be binding on those who do not believe in the Bible. But we must have a theory which is large enough to take in all these various viewpoints. Do you see? Do you see how widening your perspective advances you in spirituality? Just as there are millions of people who are ready to believe, and a personal creator, there have also been thousands of the brightest minds in the world who have felt that such ideas were not sufficient for them and wanted something higher. And whatever religion was not broad enough to include all these minds, the result was the brightest minds in society remained outside religion. Never was this so marked as the present time, especially in Europe. See how I get to going in on Europe? Europe be talking shit about all the other ancient lands in the world. Never was this marked, especially in Europe. Therefore, religion must become broad enough to include these minds. Everything it claims must be judged from the standpoint of reason. Why religions should claim that they are not bound to abide by reason, no one knows. Why religions should claim that they are not bound to abide by reason, no one knows. It does not take the standard of reason. Hold up. If one does not take the standard of reason, there cannot be any true judgment. Even in religion, one religion may ordain something very hideous. For instance, the Mohammedan religion, we got a theory back. Peace. The Mohammedan religion allows Mohammedans to kill all who are not of their religion. See, this is what I'm saying when we get to talking about what's right. How many Muslims are there, or how many Mohammedans are there? If they believe that, if it's 1 billion Muslims on the planet, 1 billion people say that's fucking right. So who gives a damn if the other 7 billion says wrong? It's right to 1 billion people. It's fucking subjective right and wrong, man. And that don't mean I disagree. I mean, agree or disagree. Because I have my own things that I think is right and wrong. But that's personal for me. And it's just better for you to hang around people who can agree on those same type of things. If you don't think it's right for somebody to, when you sleep, for somebody to wave some shitty draws over your nose while you sleep, don't hang around them type people. Even though we all one. So that may be your spiritual test. So, for instance, Mohammedan religion allows Mohammedans to kill those who are not of their religion. It is clearly stated in the Quran, kill the infidels if they do not become Mohammedans. They must be put to a fire and sword. Now, if we tell a Mohammedan that this is wrong, he will naturally ask, how do you know that? How do you know it's not good? My book says it is. If you point out that your book is older, the Buddhist will come and say, my book is much older still. Then will come the Hindu and say, my books are oldest of them all. Therefore, referring to books will not do. Or you might come and say, Egypt is older than all of that. The pyramids date back to 100,000 years. The pyramids date back to 100,000 years. And we got evidence to prove it. But what does that do for the next person? My Bible older. It's like, nigga, that Bible like 3,000 years old, if that. Where is the standard by which you can compare? You will say, look at the Sermon on the Mount. And the Mohammedan will reply, look at the edicts of the Quran. The Mohammedan will say, who is the abater as to which is the better of the two? Neither the New Testament nor the Quran can be the abater in the quarrel between them, right? There must be some independent authority, and that cannot be any book, but something that is universal. We get into it, y'all. We get into it. And what is more universal than reason? It has been said that reason is not always strong enough to help us to get at the truth. Many times it makes mistakes. I was just watching, I don't know if y'all watch Sandman, but goddamn, Sandman has been, season 2 is phenomenal. And I think that was Desire or one of the guys that said reason has been the most treacherous tool of man. Fuck it, I can't remember. Let me not quote it. Never mind. Forget I said it. Just watch Sandman season 2, episode 5. Um and therefore the conclusion is that we must believe in the authority of the church because reason cannot always be held up, right? That was said to me by a Roman Catholic, but I could not see the logic of it. On the other hand, I should say, if reason is so weak, a body of priests should be weaker. And I am not going to accept their verdict, but I will abide by my reason, because with all its weakness, there is some chance of my getting at the truth through it, while by the other means there is no such hope at all. We should therefore follow reason, and also we should sympathize with those who, following reason, do not come to any sort of belief. For it is better that mankind should become atheists by following reason than blindly believe in 200 millions of gods on the authority of somebody. What we want is progress, development, and realization. No theories ever made men higher. No amount of books can help us become pure. The only power is in realization. Come on, man. Yes, we're reading books over here, but what's the goal? What is our talks about? Self-realization. Nothing other than that. And that lies in ourselves and comes from thinking. Let men think. A code of earth. What the fuck? Oh, a cloud of earth never thinks, but it remains only a cloud of earth. The glory of man is that he is a thinking being. It is the nature of man to think, and therein he differs from animals. I believe in reason and follow reason, having seen enough of evils of authority. For I was born in a country where people have gone to the extreme in authority. The Hindus believe that creation has come out of the Vedas. How do you know there is a cow? Because the word cow is in the Vedas. How do you know there is a man? Because the word man is in there. If it had not been, there would have been no man in the world. That is that is what they say. Authority with a vengeance. Some of the most powerful minds have taken this idea up and spun out wonderful logical theories around it. They have reasoned it out, and there it stands, a whole system of philosophy. And thousands of the brightest intellects have been dedicated through hundreds of years to the working out of this idea. Such has been the power of authority, and great are the dangers thereof. It stunts the growth of humanity, and we must not forget that we want growth. In all of our attempts to find out relative truth, what we want even more than the truth itself is the exercise of the mind. That exercise is indeed our life. Now, let me be straightforward with you. Once we get into these other books, it will go beyond what Swami Vivekananda is saying. You would probably be like, oh, that contradicts. But you have to remember, he's speaking in 1896. His OG, Sri Ramakrishna, made him read this book. This book kind of goes against all that he's saying. But this book is not for the common spiritual person. It's just not. If you built on occult tradition, if you built on Wicca tradition, if you built on Ifa tradition, if you built up on Christian tradition, if you built up on Hindu tradition, if you built up on tantric and yogic tradition, if you built up on the tree of life or Kabbalah tradition, you're not gonna like what's said in here, but it's very direct. So Swami Vivekananda OG made him read this, and by the time he already came to America and London, he had already read this. But his OG told him this not for everybody. So you got to understand, he's still speaking the truth in a version that he can speak to the common mind. Remember that. Yeah, and I like listen, bro. I speak to those. I told y'all about that. I met a guy named Krishna, and we had this conversation, bro. And like he like no, the first thing he should no, my people are very superstitious. First thing he ran to, they super superstitious. They super superstitious, bro. So you'll meet your average Indian here, even if they go to temples and all that, they are very superstitious, bro. They not fucking with this shit. They're not no Gyanis, no non-dualists. They pure tradition. Do the ritual. Do this. Do that. Do that. Don't wear that. Don't do this. And don't eat that. And don't do that. Very superstitious. Just like your average Christian grew up in the South. Very superstitious. The monistic theory has this merit. Damn, I'm missing comments, y'all. I'm sorry. Let's see how many more pages we got. All right, we'll get to it in a minute. The monistic theory has this merit. It is the most rational of all religious theories that we can conceive of. Every other theory, every conception of God, which is partial and petty and personal, is not rational. That's why I'm heavy on the non-dualism shit. That's why I'm heavy on the non-dualistic shit. Right, Rosa Flame. And it's a mind thing. It's a human mind thing. But it comes from tradition. Superstitions come from tradition. So that's it. It comes from tradition. And tradition comes from culture. So it's a very human thing. But it does have its weird flare-ups in religions. Because they're very restrictive on culture and tradition. It comes from the mind. Comes from the mind. Because what is superstition doing? Separating things. This is good, this is bad. This is good luck and this is bad luck. What does that? The ego. The ego. That's what I'm telling y'all. It's the fucking mind that is the matrix. Prakriti is the mind in its causeless state, aka deep sleep. Or you can relate it to deep sleep. It's causeless. That's what being part of groups like AA can be super helpful because they make sure you get over that. Facts, facts, facts. Groups like this, what we create here, groups like what we create over on Travis' page. You see what I'm saying? It helps you stand on the motherfucking cosmic P. Helps you to stand on the cosmic P, but not for you to run away from reality. This non-dualism, what I see is you can go right back into the world doing the normal worldly shit. But in here, you are even beyond what's going on in here. You are in pure observer mode. You understand that all is one. So it ain't no worrying about is that good or bad? Is that I shouldn't do this because it's this and I shouldn't do that. So you ain't worried about that because it's all one. And it takes the fear out of your mind. What is working to take the fear out of your mind is what you should be getting to. Let's say that. It's just not instant for everybody. For some people it is. Okay. The monistic theory has this merit. It is the most rational of all religious let me turn this fan down. God damn it, I'm getting cold. Da, 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 da. It is the most rational of all religious theories that we can conceive of. Every other theory, every conception of God, which is partial and petty and personal, is not rational. And yet, monoism is so grand that it embraces all these partial conceptions of God as being necessary for many. As being, listen, it accepts all partial concepts of God as being necessary for many. That's why you don't see me shit on Christians. That's why you don't see me shit on Muslims. That's why you don't see me shit on none of that. Because I can see and understand it. Yes, it's real for them. And you need to understand that it's real for them. Some people may say, though, this personal explanation is irrational. It is consoling. They want a consoling religion, and we understand that it is necessary for them. The clear light of truth, very few in this life can bear, much less live up to. It is necessary, therefore, that this comfortable religion should exist. It has to exist. Everybody can't come and understand non-dualism. Not every occultist, not every spiritualist, not every Wiccan, not every magician. It's not that. It's not going to be like that. So it's necessary for people. It helps many souls to find a better one. Uh-oh. It is necessary, therefore, that this comfortable religion should exist. Why am I not highlighting this shit? Hold up, y'all. Gotta highlight this whole thing. It helps many souls to find a better one. Small minds whose circumference is very limited and who require little things to build up never venture to soar high in thought. Their concepts, even if only the little gods and symbols, listen, their concepts, even if only the little gods and symbols, are very good and helpful for them. But you have to understand the impersonal, for it is in and through that alone that these others can be explained. Take, for instance, the idea of the personal God. A man who understands and believes in the impersonal, John Stuart Mill, for example, may say a personal God is impossible and cannot be proved. I agree with him that a personal God cannot be demonstrated, but he is the highest reading of the impersonal that can be reached by the human intellect. And what else is the universe but a various readings of the absolute? So the human intellect, he needs a sigil. The human intellect needs a God with a face. Why do you think the New Testament came about? If you're one of those who don't believe that the man Jesus walked around, even though it's already said that the picture of Jesus that we got was Leonardo da Vinci's drunk uncle or some drunk guy in the alley. They had to give them, the people of that time, they had to give them an image to attach to. They needed an image, because if you read the Bible in the beginning, you ain't supposed to have no false engraven images. There are no images of that God for a specific reason, because you're going to humanize God. You're going to humanize consciousness. You're going to humanize awareness, and you're going to be lost. Kind of. Ultimately, nobody's lost, but it is like the book before us, and each one has brought his intellect to read it, and each one has to read it for himself. There is something which is common to the intellect of all men. Therefore, certain things appear to be same to all. That you and I see a chair proves there is something common to both minds. If a being comes with another sense, he will not see the chair at all. But all beings similarly constituted will see the same things. But all human beings similarly constituted will see the same things. Do you hear what I'm saying? All beings similarly constituted will see the same things. That's why everybody can see the same things dealing with a personal God. And everybody who sees the impersonal God as pure consciousness awareness, we see it. We get it. Because we have, what is it? We have similarly constituted minds, right? but all beings similarly constituted will see the same things. Thus, this universe itself is the absolute, the unchangeable, the nominal. And the reading, therefore, constitutes the phenomena. Constitutes the phenomena. You will find that all phenomena are finite. Every phenomena that we can see, feel, or think of is finite. Oh, okay. Every, every. Okay. For you will find that all phenomena are infinite or finite. So anything that you can conceptualize in your mind is finite, limited by our knowledge. Let me highlight that. And the personal God, as we conceive of him, in fact, is a phenomenon. So let's read that again. For you will find that all phenomena are finite. Every phenomenon that we see, feel, or think of is finite, limited by our knowledge. And the personal God we can conceive, as we conceive of him, is in fact a phenomenon. The very idea of causation exists only in the phenomenal world. So the causal plane only exists in the phenomenal world. You are beyond causation. How do you know that? Because if you study Samkhya Darshan and we talk about Prakriti, we understand that Prakriti herself is the source of all cause and effect, but her herself is beyond cause and effect. And you are beyond Prakriti. So the very idea of causation exists only in the phenomenal world. And God, as the cause of this universe, must naturally be thought of as limited. I've been saying that before I got to this, Vedanta. The universe is limited. Yes, it is. And the God of it is limited. Yes, it is. Matter of fact, we basically went into that inside of the cosmic doctrine, right? And yet he is the same impersonal God. So that's why I was telling, for those who heard me when I was telling Rose of Flame, technically the way that we know God is ultimately an illusion and it's finite. But ultimately, even over that, both of these statements are right. It is that same God that is the pure unconditioned consciousness. This phenomenal universe has been seen. This phenomenal universe, as we have seen, is the impersonal being read by our intellect. Whatever is real in the universe is the impersonal being. Whatever is real in the universe is the impersonal being. And the forms and names are given by our intellect. Man, come on, man. He really just ran through it. That's it. That's all you need to know. And that's what I'm telling y'all. What did I start off the first live video talking about? This is the third time we didn't try to get this shit going. The first one I read out telling y'all about these goddamn concepts. And that's a product of our fucking intellect. All of these spiritual concepts is a product of our intellect, bro. Whatever is real in this table is that being. And the table, form, and all else are given by our intellects. Now, motion, for instance, which is necessary adjunct of the phenomenal, cannot be predicted of the universal. Every particle, every atom in the universe is in a constant state of change and motion. But the universe as a whole is unchangeable because motion or change is a relative thing. We cannot think of something in motion only in comparison. Hold up. We can think of something in motion only to comparison with something which is not moving. There has to be something that's not changing for you to notice the change. And that's all non-dualism or Vedanta or Advaita or a Gyani is telling you. That's all that is telling you, bro. You are that which is changeless. And if we telling you consciousness is changeless, you're not raising your motherfucking consciousness. You're raising your alertness and you're gaining more knowledge in the mind. That's about it. And then you're gonna have to transcend that ultimately. Oh yes, you is. Hold up. So hopefully we getting this. Hopefully we getting this. All right. Now, motion for okay, we already ran through motion. There must be two things in order to understand motion. We're still in dualism. The whole mass of the universe taken as a unit cannot move. The whole mass of the universe taken as a unit cannot move. In regard to what will it move? Think about that. In what regards will the universe move? What do you have to compare it to? Because you have to say something is changing, you have to have something that's unchanging. So, in what regard could we say the universe is moving? It cannot be said to change. In regard to what will it change? So, the whole is the absolute, but within it, every particle is in a constant state of flux and change. It is unchangeable and changeable at the same time. It is unchangeable and changeable at the same. It is unchangeable and changeable at the same time. Impersonal and personal in one. This is our conception of the universe, of motion, and of God. Thus, we see the impersonal instead of doing away with the personal. Thus, we see that the impersonal, instead of doing away with the personal, the absolute, instead of pulling down the relative, only explains it to the full satisfaction of our reason and heart. The personal God and all that exists in the universe are the same impersonal being seen through our minds. When we shall be rid of our minds, our little personalities, we shall become one with it. And that's all non dualism is talking about. It's trying to rid you of your little personality and your little bitty mind, even if your mind is the universe. All is mental, and the all is mental, and the universe is whatever. We're trying to rid you of that. So when we shall rid of ourselves of our minds and our little personalities, we shall become one with it. And you can do that in life. That's what we're doing here. That's what we talk about here. That's the cosmic P that we are pushing here. This is what is meant by thou art that. This is what is meant by know thyself. The old ancient proverb that we always heard, know thyself. It's not know myself, it's know the self. It's the self. And it's non-dual. Maybe this changes something for somebody. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe this is just entertainment. I don't know. But for me, thou art that. We must know our true nature, the absolute. The finite, manifested man forgets his source and thinks himself to be an entirely separate entity. We are personalized, differentiated beings, forget our reality, and the teachings of monoism is not forget our reality. And the teaching of monoism is not that we must give up these differentiations, but we must learn to understand what we are. That's what I keep telling you. It's not that you have to stop this and this and that. All you need to know is who you really are and start identifying with that. And there's your liberation. There's your liberation. Stop identifying with the mind and all the concepts it gives you. That doesn't mean you don't have to know them. That doesn't mean you have to. That don't mean you can't see it, that I'm brown and you're fucking tan or fucking whatever fucking skin tone you are. That doesn't mean you don't get to see burgundy in my hat and I have on a white t-shirt. That doesn't mean all that goes away. That doesn't mean you don't get to see that I'm short and you're tall, or that I'm tall and you short. You still see all of that. But rid yourself of your attachment to those identities. But that we must learn to understand what we are. We are in reality that infinite being, and our personalities represent so many channels through which this infinite reality is manifesting itself. The whole mass of changes, which we call evolution, is brought about by the soul's trying to manifest more and more of its infinite energy. That's what's going on here. If you want to take that approach, that's what's going on here. That's what's going on here. It's nothing but the oneness doing multiplicities of shit. Ultimately, it's an illusion. But for the relative mind, it's real. Ultimately, it's created this illusion of separation. That's the only way it can have experiences. If we want to say, if we want to run with that narrative, that's the only way it can have an experience. So why not be a fucking firefighter? Why not be a prostitute? Why not be a jacker? Why not be a killer? Why not be an occultist? Why not be a non-dualist? Why not be a YouTuber? Why not go to work and punch butts? Why not hit the warehouse? Why not work for Amazon? That's the infinite doing all of that, keeping itself under this illusion to have that experience. Rid yourself of small mind, like a drop dissolving into the ocean of infinite consciousness. That's key. That's P. What am I talking about? That is P. The fuck? Let's see. This is the central idea of monoism, and one that is very hard to understand. This is it. It's and like he's saying it, I'm saying it, we saying it, and I get it because I understand the human mind. It's very hard to understand. From my childhood, everyone around me taught me weakness. Same here. From my childhood, everyone around me taught me weakness. I have been told ever since I was born that I was a weak thing. It is very difficult for me now to realize my own strength. But by analysis and reasonings, I gain knowledge of my own strength. I realize it. All the knowledge that we have in this world, where does it come from? It is within us. What knowledge is outside of you? What knowledge is outside of you? None. Knowledge is not in matter. It is in man all the time. Nobody ever creates knowledge. That's why I keep telling you, nobody is creating nothing new in spirituality. Nobody. Not me, not nobody. They're not teaching you nothing new. We're probably talking to you in different ways, giving you different methodologies to attain the same very thing. There's nothing new. Man brings it from within. It is lying there. The whole of the big banyan tree, which covers acres of ground, is in a little seed, which is perhaps no bigger than 1/8 of a mustard seed. That large ass trees come from a small ass seed. Remember that. All that mass of energy is confined there. The gigantic intellect, we know, lies coiled up in the protoplasmic cell. And why should not infinite energy? We know that it is so. It may seem like a paradox, but it is true. Each one of us comes out of a protoplasmic cell, and all the powers we possess are coiled up there. You cannot say they come from food, for if you heap up food mountain high, what power comes out of it? For if you heap up food mountain high. What power comes out of it? The energy is in the cell, potentially, no doubt, but still there. So infinite power is in the soul of man. Infinite power is in your soul. Man, come on, man. Whether he knows it or not, its manifestation is only a question of being conscious of it. Slowly, this infinite giant is, as it were, waking up, becoming conscious of his power, and arousing himself. And with his growing consciousness, more and more of his bonds are breaking. His chains are bursting asunder. And the day is sure to come when, with the full consciousness of his infinite power and wisdom, the giant will arise to his feet and stand erect. Let us all help to hasten that glorious consummation. And that is the end of that chapter. This is what we're doing here. And I've seen this, and I want to say Kenneth Grant said the same thing, y'all. Hold up. He believed that reality is coming back around to understand this oneness. Let's see. See if I can find it in Kenneth Grant's book. Chapter 9, The Negative Way, page 93. Let's see. Well, let's see. For if we could penetrate the ultimate mystery, we must not think positively. This Kenneth Grant, The Night Side of Eden, The Negative Way chapter, chapter 9. It is necessary to burrow deeper, even than the primordial physical gnosis, to come to grips with the mysteries it symbolizes. This can be done by only recasting and reversing our mental machinery. It's right here in the occult shit as well. Right? For if we would penetrate the ultimate mystery, we must not think positively or even negatively. We must not think at all. Damn. I like that. We must not think at all, bro. Listen, if you want to penetrate the highest mysteries of chaos and consciousness or whatever of God, it has to go beyond thinking. We must not think at all. Stop. That's what Poppy G was saying. If I tell you the mind doesn't exist, what is there to understand? What are you going to think about? Ain't nothing to think about. You just be. Ain't no more knowledge. The Cheyenne adepts of the East and the Awas through Kwali in the West tirelessly pointed out the negative way via the negations, the way that negates the way of Nuit, whose number is 11, whose word is 56, and whose mysteries are typified by the 5-pointed star. That's not what I wanted to find, though. Hold up. Okay. Stick with me, y'all. Look like y'all still here. Hold up. Remember, that's what we went through in the dark veil lifted. It's all about negation. And over here in the East, they call it not this, not this. Nady, nady. I'm not this. I'm not the body, not the mind, not the breath, not the intellect. I'm not the memory. Let me see. Damn, y'all. It's one thing that I'm trying to find. Let's see. This may be the one. This may be it right here. Okay. The full symbolism of the beast, ape in Babylon or Babel, can be explained only when it is brought into relation with symbolism of the tower, the word, and the headless God, who in mystical terminology is the holy guardian angel, which, as Mathers interpreted, is the bornless one. Remember we said that? What Coop? Kupananda ain't even in the other Kupananda. Let's see. I haven't got that one yet, Coop TGS. I'm gonna get back to your comments in a minute, but I haven't got that one yet. I only got the night side of Eden and outside the circles of time. Them the only two I got. It is the bornless one, the subconsciousness, infinite potentiality, the latent light, the hidden God, the Sun, SUN and SON in a mental. He is a God that does not emerge from the abyss because, as Har Karat or Set, he is potentially implicit in the child and thus the persecutor of the true voice. He is not the ever coming one, but the never coming one, the nominal source of appearance, and therefore the veritable disappearance and absence that makes all phenomenal presence possible. Does that sound, listen, does that not sound like what Vivekananda just told us? These occultists over here talking about it, using, oh, it's the holy and guardian angel of the son of a mentor and the child of Horpar Karat and potentially illicit child of the persecutor of the true voice. Vivekananda just gave it to you straight, flat, the fuck out. Same shit. He can never come or appear because the moment he does, he is no longer reality, but an objective illusion, a mere appearance. Same thing he just tell you about God. When God shows up like that, it's nothing but an objective. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Maybe it's in another chapter. Oh, it's probably in the chapter of the light that is not. This is it. Here he goes talking the manner of the world of name and form appears to the ego as reality, while in actual fact reality withdraws as the principle of consciousness recedes and returns to the point of its original absence. Doth as the ego is a shadow shakti or veiling power of Kether, and the lightning shift or the lightning swift moment of its butrefaction into the Hokmah, which is the subject, and Bina, the object. It's something that I'm trying to find here that, y'all, listen. Here we go right here. Kether is, okay, we still got some. I keep reading because y'all in here, bro. But I'm missing something. Like this was part of my because he's still using consciousness as something that raises up and still falls down. But you get over here to the source of that information and you see ain't no raising up of consciousness, ain't no falling down of consciousness. But check this out. We read this book about 6 months ago. these chapters. We read the light that is not, and we read the negative way. And I didn't pick up on it then. My mind wasn't suitable yet. Let's see what he says right here. Kether is the focus of cosmic consciousness, and its first manifestation is light. The ain, here we go. The ain, which is its source, is not darkness, but absence of light, and therefore the true essence of light. This was the type of shit that was catching me when I'm reading the Kabbalah. Remember, I just showed y'all that book. You are something prior to consciousness. And I said, I believe what he's describing is what the occultists call aim. Sit with that, do without wit with that. Kether is the infinitesimal point of space-time at which absence of light becomes its presence by turning the void, aka ain, inside out. So with Kether, if all the Sephiras come out of Kether and it's nothing still but ain, and it's turning it inside out, what does that say about the whole tree? The whole tree still ain't nothing but ain. You know what? You're right. We might have to. Because this is what helped me come to it. I'm like, what the fuck? This is it. Kether and the resulting tree of life may therefore listen, which the unfortunate said the same shit. Kether and the resulting tree of life may therefore be conceived as the interior of the void manifesting in space, which is the menstruum of light. You niggas live in the period of blood. Let's see. In the microcosm, this light manifests as the light of consciousness that illumines form. Here we go. I haven't read this since I've been even deeper into occultism, other than when I gave y'all the video. It is a light by which, and in which a thought can be visualized in the darkness of the mind, bro. As dreams appear in the darkness of sleep, in the celestial sphere, consciousness manifests as physical light, the sun. In the mineral kingdom, it manifests as gold. Biologically considered, it is the phallus which perpetuates the seed of light, consciousness. Why do you think it's called the Shiva Lingam? Shiva represents pure unconditioned consciousness. He does nothing in the animal kingdom. These lights are one light, Kether, and they proceed from an infinite absence of light, ain. As it pours through Kether, it is split into three rays from the three supernal branches of the tree. So what am I telling you? Kether, nigga, is the matrix. How do you know? It's showing you right here. He's telling you, and it's obvious when you learn the tree of life and its methodology. Kether is a fucking illusion. Kether is the fucking matrix. Kether is the creator before Bina. Kether is Prakriti. And how do you know that? It has a divine feminine aspect. Everything is being poured into. The divine feminine receives and creates multiplicities. Is that not what Prakriti does? Is that not what Shakti does? Is that not what Bina does? So what am I telling you about Kether? Not even what am I telling you. Fuck, they saying it. And I came to this conclusion before I ordered this book and learning about the tree of life. It's like everything is started to get divided after it leaves the fucking aim so far. But instead, this is what's fucked up with us. But instead, we try to attach ourselves to the aspects of the tree. We keep skipping over the source. We skipping over the source. We skipping over aim. We skipping over aim, y'all. And what we're learning here in non-dualism, you want to get back to the aim? You niggas want to be chaos beings and shit? Huh? You want to be titans and shit? You want to be beyond the gods and before the gods? Non-dualism is your path, nigga. Non-dualism is your path. But everybody's not ready for that. Everybody's gonna see some form or concept and attach themselves to it. When nigga, you are aim, not aim sof, not aim so far, but you are aim, which ultimately you are all of this shit, right? Because it's all is inside of aim anyway. It pours into Kether and splits into three, from which the three supernal branches of the tree. Let's see. Darkness, because I got a star right here. Let's see. Darkness is the absence of light, an absence that makes possible the presence of all that appears to be. Non-being, of which the symbol is darkness, is the source of being. In between the two terminals is a solution, discontinuity, represented by the abyss, which separates the nominal world of Kether with its twin terminals from the phenomenal world of Malkuth. The precise points of discontinuity is marked by the pylon of Doth in the midst of the abyss. Doth is knowledge of the phenomenal world, reflected downward through the tunnels of Set at the back of the tree. This knowledge, or Doth, is the death of the self. The death of what? The death of the ego. That's why you can't get past Doth until you let go of your attachment to the ego. Not literally, but literally. But literally. It represents the primary stage, which the um CEREMENTS cerements are woven about the mummy that enters a mentor into the desert of Set. It appears on the front of the tree as the apparently living semblance of the ego with which it identifies itself on the gradual descent into the matter of Malkuth. It still wasn't what I wanted to give y'all, but remember, he said this: the entire process from Kether to Malkuth is one of successive veiling, accompanied by the increasing loss of awareness of the principle of consciousness. The whole purpose of incarnation being the redemption and reintegration of the lost principle. Oh, check this out. Remember, I told you we read this, and I didn't even, I'm just looking over this word. He says, here we go. This is what I was looking for. Buddhist and the Advaitins. See, I didn't even know what the fuck that word mean when I first read that. Buddhists and the Advaitins regard these veils as wholly illusionary. There are no veils. Listen, there are no fucking veils. Master Kenneth Grant is saying it as well. The Vedantins are saying it as well. Even though they got the Pranamaya, Anamaya kosher and the Vigyamana kosher and all of that shit, but ultimately that does not exist. That Buddhists and the Advaitins regard these veils as wholly illusionary, while others regard them as modifications of the original principle. Who is those others? These fucking occultists, these Western occultists. In whichever light they are regarded, the problem remains unchanged. How to resolve the perpetual game of hide and seek. Now, I'm trying to tell you, I was trying to find where he actually brought up what he was talking about. Dion Fortune and Aleister Crowley. He said they probably did not know. Oh, damn, what part, Coop? Okay. So hold up. Because I want to read something to y'all what he's saying, what he believes what's actually coming is this age of oneness. And he believed that the Buddhists and the Advaitians or the Eastern religions have figured this out. And he believed that him himself, being a Western occultist, said the Western occultists have missed this punch. Hmm. Okay, the book of Dizian, the book of law, and the Thelmic. Here we go. I remember what Rose of Flame at. I remember he kept telling me about the Thelmic holy book, or where everybody was. Everybody know about it, dealing with Blavatsky and them, and and who did we just name? Crowley. All of which have been made available. Listen, the book of Dizian or Dizian. I can't never say that word. Dzyan, the Book of Law, and the Thelmic Holy Books, all of which have been made available during the past century, contain magical formula that have been used from time immemorial. But there is as yet no adequate commentary to any of them. For both Blavatsky and Crowley, advanced as they undoubtedly were circumscribed by a basically old aeon attitude to the void. Please don't let that go over y'all heads. Because I know we occultists, we may hold them in high regards, but they are in an old aeon, right? And times have changed. And I'm trying to get you to the point where he brought this up. As advanced as they undoubtedly were circumscribed by basically an old aeon attitude when in regards to the void, right? And we still dealing with their shit or with the breakthroughs that they have come through, which obviously they don't own it because it's all of this knowledge is all of ours, just period. Nobody owns it, right? Nobody owns it. Crowley, perhaps by virtue of a conscious identification with the draconian current through the mysteries of the number 666, had intuitively grasped the possibility of an antichrist and an anti-spirit, although he could not, it seems, confront the idea of an anti-logos. He may get to the antichrist, but he could not get to the idea of an anti-logos. This is evidenced by the horror with which he referred to the aeon that has no word. That right there, why do I not have this whole shit highlighted? That right there spoke to me, y'all. Because what are they telling you over here in the Vedanta shit? There was no word that can be spoken that can actually give you what consciousness is, what Brahman is. The ultimate thing is silence. Even when you're doing the word it's after that last that's the pure dead silence. That's what they saying Brahman is. This evidence of the whole was referred to the aeon, which has no word, which he says, which a lot of y'all may be better with Hebrew words than me. He says, an aeon yet to come, which he ascribes to the letter Zain. What did he say? What's Zain, y'all? The letter Zain in Hebrew. Aeon of silence. Okay. Possibly when we achieve full. Okay. 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 There we go. We got somebody. God damn it. I love y'all niggas. One adept only, to my knowledge, was alive to the fact that Crawley had uttered a word because being identified with the beast, he was incapable of formulating it. Do you hear what he just said? Being identified with the beast. So he took on, even though the whole B666 and all that shit was some very profound and radical shit during that time, he was incapable of tapping into the age of Aeon of no words because he took on an identification. One adept only, to my knowledge, was alive to the fact that Crawley had uttered a word. Because being identified with the beast, he was incapable of formulating it. But reversion to, man, inarticulately and bestial incapacity to utter a word does not explain Crowley's failure, which was rooted in the inability to fathom the timeless dimension where the veritable anti-word or antichrist truly obtained. That's what I thought it was, the sword. Okay. Rose of Flame. Damn, how you get that in there? Guess what that also looks like? The statue of Set, the staff of Set. Let's see if we can pull it up. It don't matter because I already got it a part of my shit. Let's see. That looks like the staff of Set. And that's why I keep saying, that's what, man, matter of fact, I did it, didn't I? I did that in the Dark Veil Lifted. Yeah, I know I did. Let's see. Yeah, we did that in the Dark Veil Lifted, didn't we, gang? We should have tapped into that. It's the age of Set. Yeah, it's the staff of Set. Do I have a better picture though? Hold up. Shit, we can take me off the screen. Fuck it. Fuck. I don't got the staff of Set in here. Yeah, go right there to the right. Well, Atum holding it. It looks just like the staff of fucking Set. Come on, man. Hold up. Okay, now Rose of Flame added something else. That look a little different. But even then, what was I getting to? So we talking about the timeless dimension. What's the timeless dimension? What's the place where time doesn't exist? Time exists inside of the mind. If the all is mind and the universe is mental, all the time exists inside of the universe of mind. But what we're telling you is outside of the mind. You are pure consciousness, the one that's aware. So we're going back to the age of consciousness, the age of awareness. This is what's, God damn it, I didn't make this shit up. I didn't make this shit up. Oh, you said that word was a typo. Okay, and even then, right? Because I ran through that. It's the path of negation, right? Set is dissect, right? And the sword, use the sword to dissect. And even Set's what's the name tail is what was represented by a birthing knife to dissect you from. Come on, man. I know y'all understand. But still, come on. It's the path of negation. You're supposed to be identifying less. That's why I say people ain't advancing spiritually by adding more concepts to themselves, man. By adding more names and titles to themselves. This is not me just coming up with it. I had a realization, thinking about it, ponder on it, and thought about every goddamn thing I've done spiritually and everything that I've learned spiritually. It's like, oh, it's all about dissecting, or the nati. Where is it at? Nati. Wherever the fuck is that. The path of negation. Right? What else does he say here? We about to get out of here, or maybe not. I don't know. Hold up. I gotta read y'all comments because I have not been able to read it. Let's read these comments. Let me just go to it on my phone. Man, come on, man. Come on, man. Let's see. Okay. Hold up, y'all. All right, back, y'all. Let me read y'all comments. Okay. Hold up. What do we see here? Damn, I'm missing a lot of shit. So okay, the endless lingam, yup, the whole supernatural, supernal triad, but Kether at the root. Right. Remember, because Kether is Malkuth to the unmanifest, and Malkuth is Kether to another tree. One in the three and three in the one. Kether is the Mal. Oh yeah, okay, there you go, right there. Yep, Cool TJ said it. Say goodbye to all enemies and all dualities if you want to fuck with this narrow way. Straight to the truth of non-dual. Damn, that went on my head. Okay. Part that mentions veils. Oh, the veils in Advaita. Like, yeah. Like, and when we get deep into this Advaita and shit, they're gonna tell you ultimately that shit don't exist. That's really by the time we get over here to Sri Ramana Maharashi, right? And then you get over here to the Ashtakya Vashmita. He ain't playing with that shit at all. Sri Ramana Maharashi ain't playing with that shit at all. And Sri Maharaj, they not playing that shit at all. They not with that shit at all. Swami Vivekananda giving it to you nice. That's elementary Advaitin. I ain't gonna lie to you. But he has to give it that way. It's 1896. Aeon of Zane, Aeon of Silence, possibly when we achieve full telepathy. Zane is sword in Hebrew. Also, seventh Hebrew letter, and associated with the lover's card connecting with Tiferet and Bina. And y'all know my number is that 717 to be more specific, but nonetheless, 7. Sword is a weapon of offense and defense. And it is a magician tools of discernment. Right, Rose of Flames. That's what I'm saying. And this is what we talk about when we talking about the path of negation. Right? Because that what does Vivekananda mean? Right? What does Vivekananda mean? Discernment of what's real and what's not real. What's the ultimate reality and what's not? What's the changeless and what's the changing? What's the illusion and what's not? Etheric said, ultimate observatory prowess. Come on. Rose, have you ever heard of J. Daniel Gunther? He got some many books on the tree of path and a thelemic perspective. Okay. Kuti just says, initiation in the aeon of the child as well as angel in the abyss. Great stuff. Okay, you were talking about that. Magic Marcel, appreciate you for showing up. And I'm glad you got a good laugh out of whatever nigga said. I don't know, but appreciate you for showing up, bro. Oh man, cool. That's fun. I was just talking about to a friend before I hopped on here. Was telling about him too. Only heard of him, but haven't read any. Okay, y'all. So I'm gonna finish this up with this. So as he's talking about Crowley's failure, which was rooted in his inability to fathom the timeless dimension, where the veritable anti-word, which AK is antichrist. Anti-word and antichrist is the same thing. The age of the antichrist could be truly obtained. Now, An examination of Dion's fortune version of the cosmic doctrine reveals a similar reluctance, or perhaps a genuine inability to unsee the issue, which is the magic of the light of LVX. Where the fuck is Trav, man? Dion Fortune couldn't see a picture of you, Trav, according to Kenneth Grant. Perhaps a genuine inability to NC the issue, which is that the magic of light, LVX, concerns neither white nor black magic, but an occult current that, as Austin Spare, did y'all just say something about Austin Spare? Oh no. But as Austin Spare correctly assumed, vibrates in the spaces between, in the intricacies, so to speak, of spiritual spacelessness that exists in a necessarily timeless void beyond or somewhere outside of the tree. What do they say inside of the Upanishads, of the Mandukya Upanishad to be exact? It is farther than the farthest, nearer than the nearest, closer than the closest. But you cannot know this. They are explaining the same shit. So if you want to get out of the non-straightforwardness, because Kenneth Grant book has so many references to so much other shit, like it ain't in this chapter. DBVRH and DBIVN and PTR, which they're references to whatever the fuck they references to, but I find that Western occultism plays a dance around. And you get over into the Vedanta shit, all the books I just showed you, on the Ashtakya Vashmita, the Be As You Are by Sri Ramana Maharishi, I Am That by Sri Maharaj, Beyond or Prior to Consciousness, Sri Ramana Maharaj, or Who Am I by Sri Ramana Maharaj. Like these books, oh no, Who Am I by Sri Ramana or Sri Ramana Maharishi. It's crazy I'm fucking getting their names right. But this is what works for me. Fuck it, man. Let me just say that. This is what works for me. I'm like, hey, that's what, if you pay attention to my YouTube channel, I'm like, hey man, I ain't here to play all these word salads with these motherfuckers. What the fuck is really being talked about? What is all this shit that's being talked about in this spiritual shit? I'm assuming that's why y'all watch a nigga YouTube channel. I'm about what the fuck is all this shit being talked about? What does this shit really mean? What are they pointing at? Like all this fancy dancy word salad sounding smart and putting little secret pathways and passages and inside of sentences and shit. What the fuck is you talking about? Why are you trying to keep it away? What is you talking about? That's what I found with occultism, Western occult. I mean, occultism is a Western thing any goddamn way, but that's what I found within it. And ultimately, like Dion Fortune said, their goal is not to go beyond space time. They not trying to leave this motherfucker without conquering land. So I understand their perspective. You see what I'm saying? I understand it. But what are you really trying to say? That's what I'm trying to get to. And who got it? And then you see how the higher self or the self leads you to it. It has led me to this. And I would get some elementary shit like this, and I call it elementary now, but even though a lot of people still can't get jiggy with this shit, and then I would lead up to these even more straightforwardness understanding of these principles. All right, let's see. Thanks for the stream, I know, since I needed this. We should go live twice a week, but I know you got to live too. Love this whole community. Ain't no enemies and stand on motherfucking principle. That's a fact, y'all. Marcel Magic. Magic Marcel. Hopefully you subscribe, Magic Marcel, because we finna get up out of here, man. What do you say? The fuck is you talking about? I swear I'm saying this routinely in my practice. Real shit. I talk to my mind like that, bro. I'm like, what the fuck is you talking about, man? What is you talking about? It'll shut the fuck up. Ultimately, it will. If it don't keep trying to explain and give me more motherfucking concepts. The fuck are you talking about? Say it straight, flat, fucking forward. What I'm saying over here, nigga, is pure awareness, pure consciousness. And everything that could ever exist exists within you and gets its and borrows its existence from you. Ultimately, it's an illusion of all these separate things. But ultimately, it's all you at the same goddamn time. It's a fucking paradox. You don't understand it. You don't need to understand it. Just be pure fucking awareness. And as always over here, y'all know how the fuck we get down. It's motherfucking stand on principle, stand on purpose. And that's our standard operating procedure. What's the standard operating procedure? What's the standard operating procedure? Be in awareness. Observe, nigga. Observe you. Observe your emotions. Observe your one-sided, opinionated ass thoughts. Observe your falsified identity that you identify with, that you are the body and the mind. Observe it. That's the standard operating fucking procedure. That's the cosmic principle. There's nothing else, nigga. This is the end of spirituality. Ain't shit else to know. You ain't gotta know shit the fuck else if you don't want to. If you do, know you doing it for your entertainment. Sorry if that hurts you, but know you doing it for your motherfucking entertainment, nigga. Remember, no obstacles will apprehend you and stand. Oh no. Let's run it back. No obstacles will apprehend you. Prosper over pain. There are no obstacles. There are only opportunities for you to prosper over pain. And prosperity ain't just got nothing to do with money. It's that opportunity for you to have self fucking realization, for you to stand back and step into awareness. Identify with motherfucking awareness, man. Fuck all these concepts ultimately. Unless you want to entertain yourself. As always, man, I love y'all motherfuckers, man. Appreciate y'all showing up. We'll be back to get to that Practical Vedanta Part 4. Much love, y'all. I'm out.